Today I'm going to review and install the electronic focuser by ZWO, and I'm going to do this on my SVBony 503 ED telescope. So what can this focuser really do, and why would you want to get it? Well, the great thing about this focuser is that it can help you automate your imaging session, and secondly, it can bring your stars into pinpoint detail very quickly and automatically, and saving you a great deal of imaging time and frustration. So let's get started and talk a little bit about the details of this focuser. Now, when you order one of these, you have a choice of either just getting the focuser or maybe getting some accessories. And so I went ahead and bought all three things as a kit, which includes the hand controller. It's got a coarse and fine tuning there, and the temperature sensor. And it saved a lot of money by doing it as a kit, and for me that's what I want to do, because I really want to be able to just walk up to it and control it. I don't want to open an app, I just want to run it. And so I'm going to go through the steps to install this. Now it comes with a kit. You've got a cable, the mounting bracket, and some Allen wrenches, a few screws, and then some various attachment methods onto the focuser knobs. And these I've got different size holes, so there are 4 of them. Really straightforward. So the basic procedure is pretty simple. You want to take off the coarse knob of your focuser. You want to install the one that fits, and then you mount it to this, and then you do the bracket. And so for the SVBony, I've got to take a screw off, and we're going to go through that next. Okay, I have my scope here. I think I'll go ahead and slip this out. Take off the focus wheel. Put that aside. Guide camera. If you're wondering why I have this piece of tape here, this is my emergency stop. So that if these things come loose from expansion and contraction, this won't slide off accidentally. Not pretty, but I like it. All right. Now here's the focus lock on the SVBony, and this needs to be removed, and so we'll take that off. And there are 2 set screws here. You got one there, and then if you turn it 90, here's another one. Okay. That one was a little tight. I went ahead and got my own, and that looks like 2 millimeter. Okay, it's loose. And just get that. It's probably a high place so that it. Let's see. There we go. All right. So I'm going to just screw those back in so I don't lose it. And then I'll take the focus knob, and then I'm going to put these someplace where I don't lose them. All right, now we have 4. I'm not quite sure which one goes on there. We'll just try them. Not that one. Looks like this one's just a little bit bigger. Okay, now I need to know which end goes into the focuser. Okay, so that works great. All right. And they have 2 set screws just like the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up, one of the set screws in the groove. Okay. Now when you are attaching this coupling to both the shaft here on the focuser and the shaft on this one, you have to make sure that you get it securely on there. And so don't take this and start turning this hard, because that is not a good idea. But you want to have one of the set screws on the flat part here. And if you look very closely, I'll tip it up, you can see that this set screw is on the flat of this one. And so you're going to do that for both of them. And both of them have 2 screws. And the first time I put this together, it did not seem wrong, it seemed correct, and then when I turned the motor on, it just spun. And so what happened was that one of the set screws was not down on the flat quite right, and so that caused the problem. So I took it apart, put it back on, tightened it up, and then I just tested it like this by just holding it, and just to make sure that I had that good and secure. Okay, so that's how I did that. And then with the camera facing this way, you can see this a little bit better. You basically have 4 screws that are the same, and they go with washers, 2 in these 2 holes and 2 in those. Those are both the same. So basically, with this bracket, you can accommodate a wide variety of focusers, because it has slots, and that's the great thing about that. Okay, so now let's do a test, make sure we got no slipping. Here's slow. And notice there's a bit of a delay. So you press the button and then there's a bit of a delay, and then it goes. You see? But on fast, it just goes. After you get this installed, there are a couple more things you want to do. One thing, we have to set the 0 position. So let me camera here. I'll spin the telescope around. On this scale right here on my focuser, we have the position that it's in. It's currently at about 45, and 45 for this particular setup is where I'm in focus. So you want to note that before you make any changes, because when you take this out into the field and focus and use the autofocus feature, you have to be close, not perfect, but close. So you have to be able to at least see the stars. So you want to make note of where that is. The next thing you want to do is you go into the app and you select the EAF right here. And then you will see it shows a current position, and then below that is this go to and move. If I click move right now, move to 0, it'll go to 0 because I have set the 0 position. So how you set the 0 position is that you move the focuser all the way in, all right? And when it's all the way in, then you go into the app right here and then just type in 0 and then the little check mark. I'm not going to do it again because it's already set, but that's all you do. Once you set it to 0, you could test it. You could move it in and out, and then just say move 0, and it'll go right back to this starting place. So it needs to know where 0 is. When you get to that point, They have some settings, and I have not fiddled with any of the settings. I just left it as is. I have the step settings, the fine of 10, coarse of 30, and then this limit I have not set, but that limit can also be set by taking this all the way out and then noting the position, and then you can set that in. But for the moment I have not changed that. But with the default settings in my test, it worked just perfectly last night. But I will show a demonstration. I'll go out again tonight and show you how that works. Okay, so I'm at about probably 43, 44 millimeters, something like that. And so I know it's out of focus. Now I only have one camera tonight. So I'll switch to the ASI Air, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the hand controller because I do have a star, but it's kind of a blob as expected because I'm about 3 millimeters off. And then after I get the star just a little bit sharper, then I will let the ASI Air do an autofocus. So we'll switch to the ASI now. Okay, here we are in the ASI Air, so I'm going to move the hand controller. And go the other way. Not the right way. Do some little minor corrections. Okay, so that's probably in focus enough to run the focus. It may not be dark enough, but we will try it. Here on the left we have a new icon called the focuser, and it is available in a couple different modes, and it is definitely available in preview. And so we will try and see if we can do it. I'm going to press the autofocus button and see if it can do the routine this early in the evening. Then you hit the play button. If you listen closely, you can hear the focuser moving. Okay, it did find a star, so it's going to start its routine now. So the algorithm is pretty good. So what it does is it finds the star size and it changes until it can get to the minimum. And then they start getting bigger, and then it goes the other way. And then it creates this curve you can see here. And then the next thing it will do, it will try to plot on this curve the absolute minimum. And if you look at the star size in the upper left-hand corner, you can see how this is working. And then when it finds that point, it notifies you of success, and then you can just back out and start your imaging session. Alright, so the autofocus has succeeded and it's fixed its point. Now we can go out of here, and if we go into the focus mode, and let's just run this like we would do normally if we didn't have these, and then hit the zoom function. And now you can see that the star size is quite small, and that is indicative of being very well in focus. So it did a really good job on its own. I didn't have to do anything, and it really is a huge time saver and a convenience. Okay, I've switched to the red filter, and I focused that filter too, and I've got M106. And for our test exposure, let's do a 60-second exposure. Alright, our exposure is done. Let's go take a look and see what we've got. Let's go all the way to the corners. I'm zoomed in quite a bit. Everything is very sharp. Our galaxy there is starting to form. And all the stars are nice and round and sharp. And this saved a lot of work, basically. It's just so convenient. Yeah, there's just one other thing I want to just talk about real quick before I sign off. And you can automate this like in auto run mode, and you can see that I've got my sequence set up, my red, my green, my blue, and my luminance. And the great thing about this autofocuser is that you can program it to refocus after each filter change. And so that's what I did, so I'll show you how to do that. What you can do is you can go back into the focuser, which is in the upper right hand corner, and then go into the autofocus tab. And here you can set some really neat things. So you can do like a temperature after so many degrees, after so many hours. And then what I have enabled right here, the third one down, is after filter change. And this is just awesome because, you know, two filters, they might be perfect, but they may not. And so this allows you to focus right after you change and ensure that that is going to be just pinpoint sharp. And you can also do after each target and after the meridian flip. But I used this on auto run the other night, and it just works great, and it does it all in the background. You don't have to click any buttons or anything. So thanks for watching, and the product links are in the description below.